All right, guys, I want to provide end times prophecy for Chicago, the city of Chicago in the US. What's going to happen to that city? I have been wondering about that for a long time. When I started looking into end times prophecies when I was several years ago, because that's when I was seeking God and try to find out more of what is coming for the end times, that end times is already here. And from the end times prophecies that I have watched in the previous years, they talk about the prophets, they talk about the major cities in the US that are located nearby the waters, nearby the bodies of water will get destroyed in the event of nuclear war. When the nuclear war breaks out, those major cities nearby the water, the coastal areas, would get nuked. Um, but what about Chicago? Because Chicago is one of the major cities, and it is located right by the Great Lakes. So that is body of water. I just made an assumption that Chicago would get nuked too when the nuclear war breaks out. But I wanted to know for sure. I asked Jesus about it, and he gave me an answer. Jesus told me that Chicago is not going to get nuked. Chicago is going to get spared. It's going to get bypassed. It's not going to get nuked by Russia. And that is a mercy coming from God. It is God's will and it's His mercy. For whatever reason, Chicago is not going to get nuked. I don't have understanding for it. I don't want to find out why. Simply, Jesus told me that Chicago is not going to get nuked, even though it's located right by Great Lakes. Jesus told me that it is actually the other places where people think or believe that not going to get nuked are the ones going to get nuked. Unexpected areas, not just coastal areas of the US, but deep inland, inside, central area, anywhere in the US will get nuked. It's not just coastal. The nuclear attack, nuclear explosions shown for the coastal areas are just one aspect of the prophecy. It's just one part of the prophecy. It doesn't make up the whole prophecies. Jesus told me that. It is just a subsection of prophecy that Jesus is revealing to certain people, his prophets. And you will have to connect the dots because other prophecies will be a little bit different, while the other prophecy will be quite a bit different because it has different information. It has more information. It covers other things. And you have to connect the dots because that's how one of the ways God speaks to us. But Jesus told me personally that Chicago is going to get bypassed. Thanks to God. Be glad. People should be glad about it because some people that have been searching, there have been those that have been watching of end times, those that live in Chicago, they are worried, oh, Chicago is going to get nuked, we're dead. No, this will give you some peace. Chicago is not going to get nuked. But Jesus told me that he reminded me to tell people, don't relax, don't uh, don't think that you'll be safe, that you'll be fine because you got spared from nuclear attack when the World War III nuclear war breaks out, because worse things are coming. Worse things are coming to this nation. There is going to be overwhelming violence. These things are coming. After nuclear wars, people will be desperate. People will be out of their minds. Most people will go insane. The survivors. And there will be violence. There will be stealing, murder, robbery, vandalism to a new level. Because it will be lawlessness. Because there will be no police to back you up. Violence is going to be a big problem. And surviving from that will be something that you won't be able to handle. It will be just too catastrophic. And there will be pestilence. There will be famine. How are you going to get food? Because financially, economically, and socially will all collapse. You're not going to be able to just buy food from store. There will be chaos. And it will get worse because when the nuclear war breaks out, it will be the triggering point of the Great Tribulation. Jesus told me that. The Great Tribulation will be much worse. The second half of the tribulation will be much worse than the nuclear wars. There will be catastrophic, apocalyptic, super scale earthquakes. There will be a lot of it. It will shake the whole nation and the world. It will be God's doing. It will be so massive and so catastrophic, it will make nuclear wars like nothing. Because it will shake everybody. It will shake everything down. When the earthquake occurs, the one that Jesus showed me to share is there will be like apocalyptic earthquake that will split the U.S. in two halves. It will split into two. And it will start where the earthquake will happen where the new Madrid fault line resides. From the bottom, from the south border of the U.S., over here nearby New Orleans, Louisiana, the earthquake will go all the way up to the north of the U.S., Great Lakes. It will go all the way up to the Great Lakes and split the land into two. Where the Michigan and Wisconsin is located. It will split into two. It will go all the way. And Jesus told me that it's not going to follow Mississippi River. It's not the Mississippi River that's going to divide the lands. It's the earthquake from God's doing. God is doing this. It's going to go straight up. From down here all the way to the north. Where nearby where Chicago is. So I don't know how Chicago is going to survive this. I just don't see how. I don't know. Because it will be so massive. It will be apocalyptic. As shown in this picture here. This is actually a pretty good representation. Jesus told me that this is a good example, even though it is not all the way true. But the magnitude, the intensity, the magnitude of the damage will occur from the Richter scale level 12 plus earthquakes in the Madrid fault line will split the lands so far apart. It won't be just couple miles or 5-10 miles apart. It will be several hundred miles apart from east side of the land and the west side of the land. It will be that much. And the land, where it splits, the land will sink. It's not going to be just water coming through, the ocean rushing into. The land will sink all the way to the bottom, to the bottomless pit. So it's going to be gigantic. It's going to be massive. And as you can see, Louisiana there is pretty much gone. It's completely gone. Much part of Arkansas, Mississippi will be gone too. And this separation will go all the way to the north, all the way up up to where Chicago is. It's gonna split it into two. Yeah, it will be massive. It says in this picture, it says dark blue areas above show land covered by sea level of only 200 feet. That is incorrect. Jesus told me that it's gonna be several thousand feet, if not deeper. Because earthquake is so massive, it's gonna change everything. It's gonna change the land, the scale. It's gonna change it. And the water will not recede. Jesus told me that too. Water will not recede. Water will, once the ocean comes through, it will remain that way. And it will permanently separate the land of US. So yeah, that's scary. That's really scary. And this is going to happen in the later part of the tribulation, sometime in the second half of the tribulation, after the World War III. Because World War III will happen right when the beginning of the Great Tribulation triggers. But in the later second half of the tribulation, it will be God's doing. There will be eruption and some explosion of magma, volcano. There will be lots of super earthquakes. There will be Jesus told me that there will be so much earthquakes that you won't be able to handle it. You can't even imagine. You can't even fathom. Because it's not going to happen like coincidentally. It will be God's doing supernaturally. He's going to just shake the land whenever he finds it necessary. It's going to continue. It's going to be persistent throughout the tribulation. He's not going to just give you a couple of earthquakes and then call it a day and done for tribulation. No. He said that there will be so much of earthquake, people will just die just from that, because it is so massive. You think earthquake Richter scale 8 is terrible? It's much worse when God does it supernaturally. When the scale, Richter scale goes to 10 plus, 12 plus. It will change the land. And Jesus told me that I asked him about the East Coast. As you can see in the picture there, even the East Coast, the land, much of that land is underwater. That blue represents water. Florida is gone. Jesus told me that too, that Florida will be gone. There will be no land. It will be gone. And the West Coast towards the inland for several hundred miles, all will be underwater. I don't know exactly when that's going to happen. I asked Jesus, when is that going to happen? Is that going to happen when during nuclear war, during World War III, or in the later part of the tribulation when the Madrid fault line, when the earthquake starts there? When is it going to happen? When is the East Coast going to happen? Jesus, is it going to happen during the nuclear war? I think Jesus just telling me now. I think, I don't know. I don't want to give people wrong information. I don't want to. It is certain that it is coming. I don't know when. I don't know when, guys. I don't know when the lands in the East Coast will go underwater. But all these things are coming. There will be great earthquakes. There will be meteor showers. Even meteor showers will come randomly anywhere where God wants to send to rain down meteor showers. It's going to happen anywhere, not just a certain area. It's not going to be just one portion or one side or one region. It's going to happen anywhere where God sees fit, where He wants to rain down, because this is God's judgment. That's why people will not be able to survive. Without God, you're going to end up dying. You're going to get killed by earthquakes, tsunami. You're going to get killed by the falling rocks, meteor showers. You're going to get killed by violence. You're going to get killed by natural disaster. You're going to get killed by even bugs. Jesus told me that even if you don't get these things directly happen to you, if you're not saved, you're gonna end up getting killed. Even something simple as bug bites will get you killed, because things will happen supernaturally. It will happen supernaturally. There are a million different ways to die. And what we need to worry about is our soul. Where is our soul's gonna go after death? It's in either only heaven or hell. Jesus is calling us, calling people to warn them to get right with God. Come to Him. Only way is to submit to Him and receive His Spirit to become born again. Because then God will protect you. God will guide you along the way. He will protect you along the way, despite all these catastrophic events that are coming. It's gonna happen. God is gonna shake the whole world, not just the U.S. It's gonna be global. It doesn't matter where you live. If you're not right with God, you will end up dying and you will end up going to hell. It doesn't matter if you live in Russia or Africa, Asia, anywhere on this globe. And God is gonna train us, when those that are destined to make it through the tribulation, those that are destined to survive, to make it through the tribulation into the new millennium. You will be going through purification. You will be going through training, direct personal training from God, from Jesus. He's going to train you personally on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, even by minute basis, even by seconds. That's how closely you will be connected with God. It will come down to that. Otherwise, you're not going to survive, because the moment you go out of your own ways, without God, if you don't depend on God and you go out of your own ways, thinking that you are in control, you're not going to make it. You're going to end up dying, premature death. Only God will protect you and guide you in specific way that are tailored for you. Otherwise nobody will survive. That's why so many people will die. Only very small, tiny portion, very small portion of the population will survive, because they will get very close to God, follow His ways. Because God is going to talk to you. He's going to be your companion, and He's going to be your direct guide, your companion, constantly, because He's going to be living in you. He's not going to be distant. He's not going to be like talking to you from 10 feet away or 30 feet away. He's going to be inside of you, talking to you. That's how you're going to feel Him. So we need to start getting right with God. Come to God now. Don't wait till the last minute, because it takes time to grow our spirit for God, for His kingdom, to connect with Him. It takes exercise. It takes time. We have to exercise in faith in God. That's how we grow. It's not something that can be done in one day or 1 week. It's better that we come seeking Him now to become born again. So yeah, this is I wanted to cover Chicago because I've been wanting to know. I'm surprised that Chicago is going to be spared from nuclear war, from the nuclear attack. But worse things are coming, so everybody has to be ready, brace for impact. They have to be ready spiritually. All right, Jesus bless you.